Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today you are going to hear ideas. I want you to listen. I want you to talk about what we can do going forward. Let's get to work. That's what the Minister of Municipal Affairs said in a pre-recorded video to concerned Albertans attending last month's flood symposium. Getting to work on flood mitigation is important, but for this minister, there are higher priorities, like flying across the country to promote his book and take shots at our energy industry. To the Minister of Book Sales, Municipal Affairs, why are book signings a higher priority to you than the flood symposium?
Mr. Speaker, it's just symptomatic of this opposition about the drive-by smears. I wrote that book because I've been dedicated to building stronger communities for all 4 terms that I've been in office. Every single proceed from any speech and from the book my best friend passed away 4 years ago, just about 4 years ago. His 2 sons are a little older than mine. Every single dime goes to that trust fund, Mr. Speaker. And I do everything I can to help make sure those boys have opportunities since their father passed away, and their accusations are abhorrent, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the trust fund is admirable, there's no question, but considering that the flood symposium was promoted as experts, community representatives and Albertans coming together to generate and discuss ideas around flood mitigation, how did this minister find his book tour more important than listening to what those experts had to say?
Fortunately, Mr. Speaker, it was recorded so I could watch what was said for that symposium, Mr. Speaker, but it was simply a matter of fact that 4 months ago I had made the commitment to come and speak, and there were hundreds of people coming, and I was the keynote speaker. It was a matter of 3 weeks by the time we got ready and organized to organize the symposium, and it was simply a matter of a clash of schedules. But I've watched everything online and got all the value out of it and continue to discuss and meet with communities about what we're going to do with mitigation going forward, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member.
Mr. Speaker, seen as Alberta's own ethics legislation states, members are expected to arrange their private affairs in a way that promotes public trust and confidence. Can the minister tell this House how he thinks he can command the trust of Albertans when he decides to go on a vanity tour across the country instead of being right here on Alberta soil, leading the recovery of the largest disaster in Canadian history? You are the minister responsible. Where are your priorities?
Honourable members, asking questions and holding the government to account is a fundamental of the democratic system that makes it all work for all of us. And when you're crossing over a little bit more into what you can perhaps view as attacks on a person's character or on the character of another colleague, honourable members, I have the floor. If you wish to speak out of turn, I will ask you to leave. It's as simple as that. I didn't interrupt you, and I don't expect you to interrupt me. Is that clear? Thank you. So please, let us review the questions that we might have on the rest of the order for today and ensure that we're at a level that befits the decorum and civility of this House. I ask that of you in honour of the fine tradition for which this House and all of its proceedings and all of its instruments stand. Surely we can aspire to something higher. Let us have an answer, if you wish, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It was not a vanity tour, Mr. Speaker. I work to help communities, anybody that will ask, and I do think that it's not just Alberta that's in for building stronger communities, it's the entire country, and I've made the commitment to go, so I followed through on that commitment. That honourable member and anybody, I've never met a single solitary person now except that member who questioned my commitment to helping us get through the largest disaster this province has ever seen. And in fact, he could ask my wife and kids, who barely saw me for months because I was in every single community working day and night on that, Mr. Speaker. I'm committed to making sure we get through this.